Hello friends, hello enemies, and hello everywhere who are somewhere in between. Hello, greetings to you. I just want to start this video by saying there is nothing to see other than my face, so treat me as you would a podcast and put me on in the background while you're doing your ironing or whatever it is that you do when you're listening to audio content. So, yes, I'm going to impart a little bit of wisdom for you guys. This may be glaringly obvious to some of you, and to some of you, maybe not. Maybe not to you young'uns, your more youthful ones among you. But here's the scoop, right? So, next week I'm going to be 42 years young, and so the background here is that I have so many ideas bursting in my head, like all the time. It's just the way my brain works, and it wasn't until last year that I even contemplated talking about my brain, and I have slowly been drip feeding information about that. I never felt like I was in a place to ever talk about my brain before, and all that jazz. And now it's become fashionable, or some people think. No, it's not. It's just that more people have been able to get diagnoses and validations for their symptoms and things. And before it was always a bit of a taboo, a bit of a hush-hush, but with modern social media and things coming through, more and more people have been able to talk out about their selves and whatever they've gone through and get the help that they need and the diagnoses that they need. So I'm all for that. But yeah, I've never really talked about that terribly much. And then last year, when everyone else started talking about it, I decided that I would start talking about it too. It's not a new thing. I've always been how I am. You just have to look at my old school reports from when I was younger to see Anna is a daydreamer. Anna lacks concentration. Anna lacks focus. Anna talks all the time. It's because I have ADHD. I was textbook. I'm also autistic. There we go. I've said it. I'm drinking orange squash. I don't very often drink, I never used to drink orange squash, but just lately I've had a taste for it. My mother-in-law bought some for the kids. We had a party, and she bought some for the kids, and since then, bang, orange squash. Just makes life a bit more exciting. So I have over years have come to acknowledge certain things about myself and the world around me and all that kind of thing. So the way my brain works and my ADHD is that I am always thinking of new ideas. Always, which is great for the job in which I do, because I have 3 YouTube channels. I also have Patreon, and I also do a monthly stickers and Brimble box collection. So I have to think of ideas for 2 videos for Patreon a month, one for children, one for adults. I have to think of a video for Mrs. Brimble's YouTube, which I'm not always very good at doing. I'm sorry about that. I don't always, those brain juices don't always work as well as the other things. Then there's videos for my Christmas channel, and then there's videos for my home life channel. And then there's the monthly collections, the stickers and the scrapbooky stuff. And so, yeah, my brain is always churning out ideas for those businesses, okay? And that's great. And I know some people with ADHD hate to use this phrase, but for me, that is my superpower. That is my superpower, is my creativity like that. But, woo, knocked the camera. Need to put that back so you can't see my pile of laundry over there. But going alongside that, my brain is also very active in terms of I'm constantly have other things that I want to do, I want to accomplish, and all of those kinds of things as well. So yeah, my brain is always churning out these things, like it sees something new on the telly or whatever, or it's like, I could do that, I want to do that. So here's where I'm at, right? So I have written 2 children's books, okay? And one of them has been written a long time, and one of them I wrote last month, and I want to illustrate those, and I have started on one. I have. I've also started writing a cookbook, okay? But I have another one that I want to write as well, and it's for a specific genre type thing. Okay, so I'm not really going to go into that. Who knows whether that'll ever get done. I'd like to get it done. It is a personal goal of mine. So there's those. Okay, so I also, this year, my word of the year was create. I wanted to be more creative for myself, be more creative projects for myself, not just for work, because creativity plays a massive part in my life. It's who I am, it's who I've always been, and it's therapeutic, it heals me, I enjoy it, I love it, it's, all the good things. And there are just so many different types of art out there that I want to explore, that I want to try. There's so many crafts out there that I want to dabble my feet into the waters of, so there's all of that. I love to read. I have got so many books that are on my to be read. Either ones that I've got on Kindle or physical books. So there's books and there's reading. There's also learning. So I'm currently doing a course via the Open University, and it's a history course on ancient Egyptian culture and art, and how that sort of spans out. Lost it then. So there's that. And also so we home educate, okay, and so my daughter is also neurodiverse. My daughter is also neurodiverse, and not inherited from me. And history is kind of one of my eldest daughter's main passions, and through doing loads of stuff with her, I have become sort of quite passionate about history. At the moment, her passion, her hyper focus, or her passion, or her specialist interest, her specialist subject, whatever you want to say, is ancient Egypt, ancient Egyptians. So which is hence why I started doing this course with the Open University, which is free. Here's a factoid for you. Mr. B, years ago, very many years ago, he did a contract for the Open University, and he was responsible for making that website. And I will try and remember to pop the link below to all the Open Learn stuff for all the free courses that they do. The sun is just coming through the window. So I'll try to remember. I may forget, so obviously. So if that's something that you are interested in, and I haven't put the link in the description of the video below, please put a comment and I will get back to you with it. But you can also Google Open Learn at the Open University. So there's that. So because she's sort of doing that, I've kind of developed a sort of a special interest in that area of my own as well. And that is the period of the Stone Age, and also human evolution and the history of human life. Now, here's another little factoid for you. When I went to university, I did a degree in sociology, and a lot of modules in the sociology course. So I did mainly sociology. I majored in sociology, but as I went through the course, I was a bit like, what am I going to do with this degree? What am I going to do? So then I ended up minoring. I ended up taking modules in human resources. So I did a major, minor, and yeah, then I ended up getting a job in human resources, which I hated in hindsight. There we go. Another story for another day. So yeah, a part of my sociology degree, there were quite a lot of what's the word? It's gone. What's the word, hummingbird? Anthropology. Anthropology modules. So yeah, that's always been kind of an interest in mine. And I'm kind of everything we do in life shapes who we are and who we become and where we are. So maybe, I'm always, I kick myself a little bit thinking, why did you take all those HR modules? Why didn't you do more of the anthropology modules? Because you really enjoyed that. But at the time, I was just it was geared up to being like, you've got to get a career, you've got to get a job after you've got this degree. What the hell are you going to do with your sociology degree? And then I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, HR, I could do that. That's people-y, you know. Turns out, no, I hated it. But if I hadn't have done that and realised I hated it and then left and, you know, done all the other things I have done, then I wouldn't be here where I am now. I might be. I might be, but like little tiny decisions that you make can totally alter the path of your life, can't they? And the life course that you're on. So yeah, now looking back, I'm like, oh man, I wish I'd done more anthropology because I'm really into that now. But then such is life. But also, the difference now, I think, is because it is a personal interest of mine, like a passion, whereas back then it was more like, I've got to do this course because I need a grade in order to get my degree, and then to get my degree, to get my job, you know, all that kind of stuff. To get a job, I needed to get a house, to blah, 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 all that kind of, you know, life stuff. Okay, so that's a bit of background for you. So yeah, I have all these things that I want to do. I want to illustrate my books and I want to publish my books. I want to finish writing my cookbook and start another one. I want to write more books because I've got more ideas for books in my head. I want to do more art and craft for myself. I want to do my OU course on ancient Egypt and more learning on human evolution and Stone Age, which I am doing. I want to do all these things. I also want to read more books. I also do actually enjoy spending some time with my family and need some downtime. I mean, I'm very lucky that a lot of the things I do, I can also do with my family or alongside my family. So that is very grateful. And so I had this thing that I was like, oh, there's just all these things that I want to do. Like, and there's just all these things and so little time. And I was like, how can I do it all? How can I do all these things all at the same time and run a business and be a mother and be a home educator and look after the house? May I also add that John is also a home educator and a parent and also looks after the house. So things are pretty even Stevens around here with that. So don't think it's all on me, that, because it's not. I am very, you know, we have a good thing going on here. Like, it's a bit of a juggle, you know. We're not the richest people financially, but we're the richest people in terms of happiness and family life. So yeah, like, you know, in terms of that, you know, like, life is good, you know, and it's our decision to both work part-time, so to juggle the family and all that. So how can you do all these things all at the same time so that you feel fulfilled and happy? And as a youngster and over time, that kind of thing would always really frustrate me, you know. I used to go to work because, I used to go to work, and then because of like the overstimulation and the overwhelm of being in an office with lots of people and dealing with people all day long, I used to come home from work, cook a bit of dinner, and then just collapse on the sofa and just sleep all evening and all night because it literally took it out of me. And I used to feel very like deflated about that because I didn't feel like I was fulfilling any of my own needs and dreams and wishes and all that kind of stuff. And over time, I started to learn. So ages and ages ago, our very, very first CAMS Planacon, don't ask me when it was because I can't remember. I think it was 2016, maybe. It was Geraldine who gave a talk there, and I can't remember what she gave her talk on. It is on my channel though. So you can go back and look for that. If you find the playlist for CAMS Planacon, you will see it in there, so you can go back and watch it. And then you can go and find her on social media and follow her and stuff. And as a part of her talk, a discussion then came up, and the book, what was it called? It's by Elrod. Miracle Morning. I knew it'd come to me. Miracle Morning. And it resonated with me, not in terms of the morning bit. So I'm going to give you some spoilers here on the book. read it if you want to, because it is a good book to read, and take from it what you can and what you will. So the premise of his book is about getting up like at 5 a.m. That to me, before I had kids, was like, what the bloody hell? Now I have an early riser, so that doesn't seem quite so crazy. And I have acclimatised to it. Back then I was like, what? Say what? 5 a.m? Excuse me. So the premise of the book was to get up at 5 a.m. and chug down some water so that you kickstarts your body again, you know. Water's good for you, kickstarts your body, you're rehydrated after having all those hours of sleep. So that's it. Do your exercise so that you've done your exercise for the day, and then have your shower and your ablutions, and then do whatever else you want to do, whether that is working on your own personal projects or your journal or whatever that is, and then go to work. So it's almost a reversal of your evening, and that I thought was really interesting. So yeah, how many times do people come home from work and are just like, oh, that's it, I'm knackered, but then feel pretty crappy because they haven't fulfilled any of the things that they want to do, and then you sort of get stuck in this cycle of like living to work, working to live, live to work, you know, that kind of like work is your thing, and then at the weekends you then got to do your housework and your food shopping and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's a really interesting concept actually. Yeah, if you do it before you go to work, then you've already ticked it off. And yeah, you're still going to be tired when you come home from work because you got up early and all that, but at least you fulfilled the things that you want to fulfill in life. You know, you've got that like sense of purpose, etc. So that did resonate with me, and I really did do that. Didn't put it into practice, mind you, but you know, some of you might. So I'm on a swivelly chair and I keep crossing and uncrossing my legs and I can't sit still. Anna also talks about herself in the third person. And it's a wheelie chair and I want to move, but I can't. That's just who I am. And I used to mask it for a very long time. Yeah, and so my years of wisdom have kind of moved and things have evolved in my life, and I was getting to the point where I was starting to be like, oh, like everything I do is either for the family or the business. Like, there's nothing for myself, like nothing for me. And then people banned about these terms of self-care and things, and I was like, oh, bath. I don't mind a bath. I'm not like, woo, bath. You know, that's not my like go-to. Neither are showers. I don't like it. But I do it because it's hygiene and all that. But you know, it's not that for me. Isn't like a, oh yeah, self-care, you know, kind of thing. And also going out of the house is a bit tricky in our circumstances, which I will not go into, for our family, not me. I enjoy going out. And so, yeah, I was starting to think about that, and I'm like bubbling along. I've got all these things that I want to do, you know, I'm like, how can I do all this, you know, etc., etc. And then it suddenly occurred to me about, you know, self-care looks different for different people, right? And also I can invest in myself and I can do self-care for myself also whilst doing stuff alongside the family, okay? So, for example, my daughter and I now have creative date nights, which is lovely. So this is my eldest daughter. So my youngest daughter, she is done by like 5:30, 7, and she's a beast by that time. She's done, she's knackered. My eldest daughter doesn't sleep. And so, you know, we have creative date nights, me and her. So, and other evenings, John will do something, you know, with her, or we'll do stuff all together. And that has really helped. And that is like self-care, but I'm seeing self-care as, doesn't have to be alone self-care. So we put some nice music on, and I find like a lo-fi chill or like a classical music or whatever playlist on Spotify, whatever we fancy, and we'll do something creative together. That could be painting, it could be drawing, it could be literally like whatever, clay, you know, that kind of thing. And that's great because she's also really into art, so she's developing her art skills and I get time for myself. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't talk. And it's really nice to kind of get in the zone. So we're doing that together, and that is a really nice thing. So I'm kind of like ticking off and accomplishing my be more creative, but also I'm spending time with her as well. And same with some of the like the educational stuff as well. So like I'm doing some of like my course, and then I'm discussing it with her because she's like into ancient Egypt as well, and we will watch like documentaries together and things. So that's kind of it. And then, so another insight with my years is actually you can't do all the things all the time, in the same way that you can't please all the people all the time. Some people will love you, some people will hate you. You'll find your tribe. People will come in and out of your life, and that's okay. You don't necessarily have to be with the same friends for forever, particularly if they're toxic or not serving you. You can move on. You can cut those ties, and the like. And so the way I'm kind of dealing with I've got all these things I want to do, I've got no time in which to do them, is I'm doing them in smaller chunks. So I've got my like evening, and as I say, like some evenings we'll have like a creative date night with my daughter, and so I'll do that for a while, and then after we've done that I'll say, oh, I'm only going to do this till whatever time, and then I'll flop. And that's when maybe we'll watch a documentary if she's still up then. Or maybe I will use that time to then read one of my many, many books. Or another evening I'll be like, right, okay, I'm going to work on my course for like half an hour. And to be honest with you, half an hour is plenty, because come the end of the day, I have been tired, I have been parenting all day or working all day, depending on what day of the week it is. So I will do like half an hour of my reading or watching the video and taking notes and all that kind of stuff. I will do that for half an hour, and then I'll move on to something else for half an hour. So the other night I did half an hour of illustrating my book. So I felt like I'd accomplished that. And then I did half an hour of my course, so I was like, tick, I felt like I'd accomplished that. And then I did the rest of the time, I can't remember how long it was, probably half an hour, something like that, of a bit of reading my book and a bit of TV watching. And that way I felt really good, because I was like, yeah, I'm juggling all the things that I want to do, I'm doing the things that I want to do, and I've got that feeling of accomplishment of doing the things that I want to do, and that feeling of like, yes, I'm not just giving my entire self to my children or my household. Like, I have things for me, this is my time, this is my self-care. Yes, the family are around, but I'm like, and yes, I do talk to them or whatever, if they ask me to talk to me or whatever, but like, this is my time. I'm gonna do that, but doing it in bite-sized chunks. Like, it doesn't have to be hours. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be hours. So like, if you want to do more work in your journals or more art or whatever, it doesn't have to be hours. It literally could just be half an hour or 15 minutes, like, particularly if you've got like a dedicated space, if you've got a desk somewhere or a little dedicated space, you could literally just, and my advice to you on that is to keep it tidy. Because right now, after this video, I need to go and do a Patreon video at my art desk, okay? I'm going to be doing an art video. You can't see my desk for crap. So before I do that, I have got to spend time clearing my desk. And in all honesty, I'm probably going to make a doom box. And for those of you that don't know what a doom box is, it's basically where you get an empty box, you get all your crap, you scoop it all up, you chuck it in your box, you leave your box there, and you forget about it, and you don't go through it for ages. It's called a doom box. So I should probably make a doom box with it, because I have got to get on. It's my work day. I've got to get on making that video. I ain't got time to go through all the crap that's on my desk and like put it back into its rightful places, even though I should, because it would make life a whole lot easier. I've got to crack on. So before I can even paint, I've got to tidy my desk. So if you have a dedicated space for doing these hobbies that you enjoy, tidy up as you go. Or put some time aside for like, this is my desk tidying time, because then if you have only got half an hour for whatever time constraints you've got or energy, because sometimes it's not always about time, is it? Sometimes it's about energy levels rather than time. But also I'm finding that my energy levels are much higher when I prioritise these things for myself. I find if I just gonna go, oh, that's it, and I'm tired, and flop on the sofa, tiredness seems to make me more tired like that. Whereas if I'm like, right, okay, I'm gonna do this, I feel so much better about myself. Like mentally, my mental well-being, I'm like, yeah, I've accomplished something. So I feel much better about myself. So yeah, keep it tidy, because if you've only got a certain amount of time, you want to just go straight into your activity. You don't want to be spending ages tidying up your desk before you can even do any art. Do you know what I mean? You want to go straight to your art. You don't want to be tidying it up. And then also, I don't know about you, but me, I then also find stuff on my desk and I go off on a tangent and I get lost. I'm like, ooh, stickers. And then I spend ages looking at the stickers and then trying to find the perfect sticker for the perfect thing. No. So yeah, try and like slim it down, try and clear your processes and make things available to you. The Happiness Project, Gretchen Rubin, that was one of the things I took away when I read The Happiness Project, is that about having things that are important to you readily accessible in a way that you can get to them and use them easily. So that's what I'm doing. So on my sideboard in the front room, I've got the books that I'm currently reading for like my Stone Age human evolution interest, with my notebooks, with my paper and my pens, they're there. I've also got like the notebook journal that I'm using for my ancient Egypt course there, as well as my sketchbook and my pencil case for my book. So they're literally there in the front room. It looks tidy, it's on the sideboard, it looks fine. You know, they're literally there at my fingertips so that I can just, of an evening, go in the lounge, grab them, do a bit, put them back, grab the next thing, do that, blah, blah, blah. And that's really working. So yeah, making it accessible, but also keeping it tidy so you can access it as well. So yeah, that's kind of like my wisdom. So take away from this, you can't do all the things all the time. So you need to prioritize, work out what is important for you, and then try and work out how you're going to find the time or the energy in which to do it. So yeah, like I'm just doing that for half an hour and that for half an hour, and then I've done 2 things in an hour, you know, so that feels good. So yeah, prioritize, come to terms with the fact you can't do all the things all the time, but if you prioritize, then you sort of can, you know, bearing in mind that this is also self-care for you because it's your mental health, so you know, prioritize that. And you know, there are 7 days in a week. Okay, so you didn't do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but what about Saturday and Sunday? You know, so there's other days in the week, you know. So, you know, you can massage it out. But also, you are allowed time to rest and relax and to recharge as well. You know, you don't have to be on the go all the time. My brain is on the go all the time. Over the years, I've tried many things, meditation and reflexology and massage and blah, 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 like all the things. But my brain is always still on the go, so much so that I have to listen to audiobooks when I go to bed, which is another way of kind of doing my reading. So when I said like I like to read books, sometimes that's listen to books. And so, you know, I'll lay in bed and I'll listen to a book and my brain will slowly start to relax. And it's good. And then, you know, if I fall asleep listening to my book, which I always do, I always have a timer on. So usually between half an hour and an hour. And then I'll either restart it if I haven't gone to sleep. Or I know that if I have gone to sleep that I haven't gone too far into the book, so then I just rewind it to the last place that I remember listening to and then start again. So sometimes it can take a very long time to finish an audiobook or whatever, and sometimes I probably listen to the same chapter over and over and over again without necessarily knowing it, but that's okay. So that's like another way of doing it. And I'm not saying that I am perfect. I'm not saying that this is the best way or anything like that. I'm just literally imparting some of what I've learned and some of the strategies and things that work for me and all that kind of thing, and how I've kind of made self-care more of a thing in this year by coming to these realizations about how I can do all the things all the time, but then also not doing all the things all the time and feeling bad about that. So I hope that's been interesting for you. I hope you've been able to take a little nugget of something from that. Check out the things I've recommended. So I've recommended Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. I recommended The Happiness Project book by Gretchen Rubin. She also has podcasts as well. So if reading books aren't your thing, then maybe, I don't know about Hal Elrod. So yeah, also think about like audiobooks. Think about a planner if you want to like plan what you're going to do when in, and maybe like write a list and prioritize what you want to do when. Yeah, did I recommend anything else? I can't remember if I recommended anything. Oh yeah, the Open University, Open Learn. I think that's it, because I'm feeling my throat really tickle now. Because I've already recorded 4 videos before this one for my various other channels. So, any recommendations from me or anyone else, use the chat below, because it's always good to know what you guys do. How do you work your self-care, your mental health? How do you prioritise and juggle all the things? How does that work for you? I want to know, and I'm going to go now. I'm going to cough, so thanks for watching. Bye.